Today we are going to try and put together a list of the top 10 weirdest weapons in Battlefield. This was something that I've been thinking about for a while. I've been including a couple more top 5 and top 10 videos on the channel recently because really content for Battlefield is at an all-time low. So I'm trying to make things interesting, bringing a few of these sometimes controversial but very entertaining videos to make. Now, I'm starting out today with probably the most obvious choice, the KOLIBRI. Battlefield 1 did a lot of things for the first time in the franchise. We had massive player-controlled behemoths, incredible atmospheric maps that brought World War I to the Frostbite engine, and Operations, a game mode that broke the Conquest mould. On top of that, we also got the most unusual sidearm ever, the KOLIBRI. The KOLIBRI is more of a novelty than being an effective weapon, but people still love it to this day. Unsurprisingly, the weapon does very little damage and has terrible accuracy, but the reason you use it is because you can humiliate somebody if you manage to take them down, and it's well worth the effort. People have recorded incredible feats where they take out behemoths using the KOLIBRI, as you've just seen in the background. Plus, the rare reload animation is really cool as well. Moving on, we have a Battlefield 5 weapon, the M3 Infrared. This weapon was brought to Battlefield 5 in the summer 2020 update and is unique due to the suppressor, bipod and infrared scope. Just take a look at it, that thing looks really weird, albeit people do love attachments. This weapon isn't particularly useful in my opinion, but it does satisfy my need to place every available attachment possible on a weapon. We've all done it before in Battlefield 4, you want to see how many attachments you can stick on the weapon and how crazy you can make it look. At number 3 we have something that definitely can be considered as a weird weapon. It's the Battlefield 4 Rorsch Mark 1, or as you all know it, the Rorsch Cannon. Technically not a weapon you can place in your loadout at the start of a match, and instead one you need to go and pick up as a battle pickup. The Rorsch Cannon is something very unusual. The weapon is a reference to the Mark S8 railgun emplacement found in Battlefield 2142 and was part of the Final Stand DLC in BF4. That entire DLC pack was focused on futuristic weaponry vehicles and locations, so the Rorsch Cannon makes perfect sense in that environment. Apparently, the people designing the weapon in game wanted to give the same sort of ping effect that you get with the M1 Garand, and you can see that a little bit with the 2-stage round popping out at the top of the weapon. So that's a bit of trivia for you. Moving on, we have a hardline weapon, the Bald Eagle. There's a few reasons why I wanted to include the Deagle on this list. Firstly, it's a damn cool weapon and I love using it, but this list is about weird weapons in Battlefield, and the Deagle isn't particularly weird. The reason I've included it though is because of this hardline variant. Firstly, it's called the Bald Eagle and not the Desert Eagle, and that was to avoid copyright, with DICE not wanting to probably pay for the license. Secondly, it has a really cool rare reload. As you can see in the background, it's not my footage as with a few of the clips in this video because it's quite rare to get. Lots of weapons have a rare reload animation in Battlefield, but in my opinion this is certainly one of the most unique ones. At number 5 we have the M1909 BENET-MERCIE. Now this weapon is really interesting. It's essentially a slow firing strip fed LMG and is quite good in my opinion, although certainly not the best in class, but you can use it. It's not weird because it's terrible. I find it quite weird because of the way that the ammo is loaded in and the way that the whole weapon just shakes about. You've got all these animations that are really distinctive in Battlefield 1, and overall it's one of the most unusual LMGs in the game in my opinion. At number 6 we have a Battlefield 3 weapon. It's the XBOW. The XBOW was introduced with the Battlefield 3 Aftermath expansion all the way back in 2012. Now doesn't that make you feel old? I've included a clip taken from a Top Plays episode just to show you the usual way people use this thing on Battlefield 3, and yes, you can use the HE bolts to damage vehicles as well, and take jets out of the sky. If you're a keen viewer of the Battlefield top players, you will have seen Dominator 666 do this on several occasions, sniping an enemy jet out of the sky with the explosive bolts. Not the only time a crossbow has been in Battlefield, but certainly the most interesting variant. The XBOW has to be on the list. At number 7 we have the UTS-15. Battlefield has a lot of shotguns, but none are quite as weird as the UTS-15. This 12 gauge pump action shotgun is unusual to load and very annoying to play against on close quarters maps like Operation Locker. It also has a bug during an empty reload, as the first shell is inserted the wrong way, with the brass head facing in the wrong direction. At number 8 we have another Battlefield 1 weapon. It's the General Lu rifle. The General Lu rifle is a select fire weapon introduced into BF1 with the Name of the Tsar DLC pack. The weapon is very unique with a special fire mode, meaning you can toggle between both a semi-auto or bolt action fire mode on the fly. This is really quite unique, and for many people made the weapon worth using despite the difficulty you might face with learning to switch between the modes. And I personally quite like the way it looks. At number 9 we have the Battlefield 4 Mare's Leg. Now a lever action rifle isn't particularly unique, but for Battlefield 4 it certainly is. I was stuck between adding either the Phantom Bow or the Mare's Leg for number 9, but as we already had the XBOW I thought I'd settle with the Mare's Leg. Saying that, the Phantom Bow could easily be on this list considering the massive unlock process you originally had to go through to get it. This thing is difficult to use though, and definitely the weirdest sidearm in Battlefield 4. It's also on the list because it essentially allows you to carry a sniper rifle as a secondary. Also, it was the first lever action rifle to appear in the Battlefield series and has some really cool unique reloads. Check out this one, which is pretty unique in my opinion. Finally, hands down, the weirdest weapon in Battlefield is the finger gun. What the hell were DICE smoking when they came up with this one? The footage is from Danny on PC, and as you can see, that is fairly disgusting, but definitely unique and weird. I hope you enjoyed the video. There are a few honourable mentions that could have easily made the list, such as the Peacekeeper from BF1. Make sure you leave your weirdest Battlefield weapons down below in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.